Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss one of the very important topic, that is CRUD operations. So if you are using any of the framework or any operations, this topic is very important, and you can find that majorly these four operations only we are performing everywhere. So what is this four operations? Let's see. So we will be discussing. First, we will go through little bit understanding of theory, and after that, we will be doing coding also regarding to that CRUD operations. So, what is CRUD? And you can see CRUD basically stands for C. I will take little bit this one. So I will change the color. I will take red color. So this is CRUD. C stands for basically creates. So what is create? If you want to create any of the, basically this CRUD, it's related to some of the resources. Any resources which is uniquely identifying on the web server or over the network. So if you want to create any of the resources on the network side, that time we are using this create. And there are some of the HTTP or network verb also, or methods you can tell, which along with this CRUD operations we are using that. So C stands for create, R stands for read, U stands for update, and D stands for delete. So there are some of the HTTP methods which are very uh, popular. We have to use along with this create. So when we have to create any of the resources on the network, that time we are using post resource we have to use. I will see, if you want to see some of the HTTP methods, you can see this is the postman. Here, if you will go on this one, here you can see all the HTTP methods are there. So frequently we are using this get, post, put, patch, delete. This we are not using that much frequently. That's why I will not discuss about this too. If you want to like learn this too, you can go and learn through the any of the internet. So when we are using get, see you can see here I'm using this, uh, how I am using this, like I want to get any resource. I am requesting any of the resource, then we have to just click on this, and you can see here I'm getting some of the resources. So like this you can use this. So for read operation, just now we have seen like get method we have to use. So this is like combination. This is the important combination. Like we have to use along with this method only. For update, there is two method for update. Basically, put is there and patch is there, and there is little bit variation is there. That's why these two separate methods they have given. So if you want to update some of the resources, like if employee is there and his address got changed, or he have changed his mobile number to any some of the new mobile number, then that time you have to use this patch method for updating some of the little bit of the resources. And if you want to change all of the resources regarding that employee or anything regarding that, or that object, that time you have to use patch one. So when you will go for delete, it's simple. In delete case, if you want to delete any of the resources, just you have to use delete. And see, in get also there is there are so many variations are there. So when you want any of the resources from the server, That time it's like you want any one employee name, or you want list of all the employees. So little bit variations is there. That time we have to use list of all the employees. So here also there is some uh, collections list is there. By using that you have to get that resource. Now we will be seeing these all four variations, how or when we have to use. So I will be doing coding, and through Postman we have to see like how output it's coming. So this is ID which I am using today. I will be creating, already I am having some of the, I have created one project. So in this project only I will be creating one of the controller, and my controller I can keep as my, I will just give my controller. My controller, it's already, it's there. I will just give controller. Controller or test controller I can give. Test controller. So this controller is now entry point of our application. So make now this is normal Java class. To make it as a RESTful API, we have to give at the rate REST controller. So by putting this annotation, now this become as a RESTful API. REST controller. Control Shift O, and then we have to do import. So now today I will be doing all of the four operations. I will just give one basic structure of the CRUD operations. Then later I will modify one by one. So first one is string. First one is create order. Create order. So in this create order, basically we have to create the resources on the server side. So uh, if you will see, we are using one PayPal documentation, and endpoint is there, like this URL is there, http colon double slash localhost colon 8083, because I have changed my port number to 8083. That's why I'm using this port number, slash b2 slash checkout slash orders. So this is my endpoint which I am using throughout this program, and I will be performing all the task on this one, this endpoint. So when you are creating any of the resources, you don't have to provide ID, because you don't have, that time you don't have any resource, that, so that's why you don't have any ID. So in order to create the resource in body, you have to provide the ID. Now inside this method, just I am giving return, because as per now I don't have anything. I am creating the basic structure. So first one is create one, second one is update, public string update order. I will give return. Third one is third one is forgetting. So if you see that there is little bit variation is there. uh, Here only in this create order you can't use ID, but in everything, like if you want to update some of the resources, that time by using ID, on this ID I have to update these resources on the network, that time you can use ID. And third one is string read order. So this read order is about getting the resource. So getting the resource, means you are already having some resources, and on that resource you need some of the information. So here return, and last one is delete. Delete is like simple. If you want to delete any of the resources, just you have to give delete order. So you can see I am on order resources. I am doing all the variations of the method. So return. Now I will be starting with the create one. So in order to map this URL to the network to this method, first I have to use request mapping. Previously also, if you see my video, I have used that request mapping. So basically when we are using request mapping, when you want to map, see by name you can understand, you want to map this URL with this method. So if in on method also, if this method is like post mapping, right? So if that method inside method on that method level also, if some URL, if some endpoint or some like path variable you are giving, that time also you can map with this request mapping to that another annotation. So in this request mapping, first I will do import this one. Inside this one you have to give this proper endpoint name. So in my case, what is the endpoint I have to give? See, this HTTP no need to give because it's already on the network. Localhost is like my system itself. So I have given localhost, and this is my port number which I have given. And from v2/checkout I have to give. So in double quote I have to give. This is the like sequence I have to give /v2/checkout slash orders. It's a order. This is a checkout. Now this is I already told this is a post mapping, so I have to give here mapping post mapping. And now here also you can give some of the now this is endpoint, right? This is complete URL. This is complete URL. So if you want to add some of the dynamic variable here, dynamic URL or dynamic value, then you can add here. So now I will do Control Shift O. In double quote I have to give. Now I don't have anything to give. Later if I have something I can add here. So in create order what I have to do? First I will just do sys out. Sys trace I will do. Sys trace I will do, and I will print this one. I will check what is the output. You can see my I got port number. Again I will run this. Already port needs of fine. Now I will come to this postman. So, what is my this one URL? My URL is /v2/checkout slash orders. And what is the mapping? Because we have to map correctly. So my mapping is post mapping. So I will hit this send button, and you can see here I got some of the error. So you have to trace, you see in trace, you can find some of the log or some of the error, whatever error you have done, you can find here. So here is telling request body is missing. In body you can see nothing I have given. So they're telling request body is missing, create order. So now you can understand there is something in request body. I'm missing something. So when you will go here, you have to understand, like if you are creating something, then definitely you have to give some of the data. So in order to give the data, first, because here it's what error we got, request body is missing. So in body you have to provide some of the data, right? Then only ID will be generated, because in post mapping you have to generate the ID. So here, what you will do, I am creating one of the Pojo class, and that Pojo class, Pojo class, now what it will happen, now Java class, it will be going to map to this JSON. So because Postman, here you can see in body, here in body, if we'll go to this raw, here in JSON object, it will be going to map. So I am creating one of the Java object here in Pojo class. My class name is order request. So I will be using order request. So why I am using this class? So this Java object, it will go to this uh, test controller, and it will give it in that because request body it's missing now, then it will come to that request body and it will give some of the ID, and then ID will, it will be generated. So in this one, I have to give some of the data. String name I am giving, string description, string currency, and string amount. Now for this, for using this all data, I have to generate the getter and setter. Select all to generate all the getters and setters. Generate, and to print all the object value to the string format, I have to use toString method. All the value I am generating the toString method. Now if we go to this test controller, now here, now create order, this method, it will be accepting, it will be accepting, expecting some of the Java object to, in order to receive the request. So here I will be creating the this class object. So what is my class name? Order request. Here if you can do input, it will take order request, and I will give one reference variable to this order request. You can do control shift O, and now to print this one, here if you come concatenate this one, you can print order request, Here you have to return. And just you have to copy this one and return this. Copy and return this one. Now, now that postman, it will be expecting the response body. So it will go to postman, check out orders there in body. Basically, in body, you have to give. In body, if you will go, in JSON, basically, it's a key value pair kind of a data you have to give. I will be giving whatever data we have taken, we have to give that only. Name, like name, you can give any of the item name or anything you can give, like I'm giving jewelry. And that item description you have to give. Like my item is gold jewelry. Currency, that order item currency, what is that currency we will be using? I will be using India currency. Amount, what is the amount of that product? So my amount is 99. Now I will run this one, this program I will run as Spring Boot app. So now you can see every time I'm getting this code is run as Spring Boot app. So now I have to go to that postman and just click on this same. So you can see the ID got generated. I told her in post in create basically ID will get generated. So now you have seen how this ID got generated. Now we will be seeing properly map that here you can see we got some rest create order and some it's looking like some garbage value, but no, it's not a garbage value. It's a kind of a object, like it will be printing in some hexadecimal format at the rate. So to properly map that Java object to the JSON object, you have to use here, because here you have what you have provided in body you have provided, right? So you have to give request body to properly map. So I will go to this one. You have to give here at the rate request body. Control Shift O. So now we will check whether it's properly mapped or not. Right click. I will first stop this one. Right click, run as Spring tab. So here you can see application got started. If we go to Postman, just click on send. ID got generated. Come to this one. Now you can see that some ID got generated. and we have to map through this request only. Now, in order to we have generated this order request, but in order to use this one, that order request, because this order request, it's not in this class, right? So in order it's in some Pojo class we have defined. So in order to use that order request, we have to create the object in this one, in this method itself. So I will be creating here that object. So what is my class name? Order request, and this is the reference variable. New order request. So in order to use that class in this class, I will be creating that object, and I have generated the getter and setter there. So re dot set id, set generated getters and setters, right? Re getters and setters. ID I have not given actually. So in order to give the ID, because this is some regarding to order request. In order to give the ID, we have to create one of the class that was for request one. Now I have to give the order response. Order response. So in order response, basically we have to give the ID in order to give in order to print the ID. So here I will be giving private ID, and I will generate the getters and setters. Selecting this ID, I will be generating to a string method. Now in order to this is my class test controller. So in order to now it will come. Now I have to create that class in this in order to use that class. So what is my class name? Order response. Order response. Response is equal to new order response. Control Shift O, and I will do import. And in order to use that, just now I have generated the getters and setters for that ID. In order to use, I have to do set ID. So by this, you can set the ID, and you can instead of printing this one, you can just you can remove this one and you can print this ID. So you can print this reference variable. Now it's telling change method return type to order response. So here instead of this method name is there, no? Instead of string you can just change to order response. Order response. So now you can stop this. Now we will see that ID got properly mapped or not. So I will do right click run as. Now in body everything is there. I have given all the body. So what I have told, in order to use, just now I have given that ID. So in order to use that ID, in order to use that ID, I have to give here ID. So this is post mapping. In post mapping, I don't have to give. So you can see I got 101. So come to this one. Now, now we will be seeing how to get the order. So we can see this read. We will come to this read order and we will be seeing in read order we have to get the order. So a read order it will having some of the ID. So first we will for differentiation I will be putting get mapping. So it means we will be using that we will getting the order, means we are using the get mapping. So I will be giving here. So we know that for get mapping we have to provide ID. So how we have to provide, in double quote curly brackets we have to provide ID, and we have to give slash, and I will do control shift O, and here I, so now what this get mapping, because it will be it will be expecting some of the it will be expecting some of the data in order to read the value. So here it will be on based of the sum of the resources only it will be using, it will be fetching that data. So ID I will be providing, and in body just I will be printing this, this out I will do this out, and in this out I will be telling I received, in double quote I will be giving received path variable ID plus symbol I am using for concatenation ID, it will be there, and in return just now I don't have anything, I will be giving same this method name itself, copy paste. I will be doing copy paste. So now you have to understand, see this it, where it will be coming. You can see this request mapping. Now it will be adding to this one. So now this is some dynamic URL. You can tell dynamic ID. It will be getting mapped to this one. So mapping this one, you have to give the path variable. So we have understood that what is path variable. Path variable is something that is dynamic value. In get mapping, if you're giving something dynamic value, that time you have to give path variable. Path variable. Now you can do control shift O. Now just see if it's getting mapped or not. So I'm getting stopping this one and printing this one. This application got started. Go to Postman. Now how you have to give this mapping? So you have to put one slash. After that, in curly bracket, you have to give ID. Here you don't have to give. Here just you have to give that ID number. And what is this? What is this URL? This is get mapping. So you can change here get mapping. and come here. You can see here I have given properly or not. This here you have to give curly bracket. So if you go to Postman, just hit this one. No, basically I have to copy this one. I can do copy. Actually, I am using this one online, so I have to duplicate here. Wait 1 second. I can duplicate here. Duplicate selected tab, and I will in body. I don't have to give any response because this is get mapping, and this is get its correct http colon localhost v2 slash checkout slash orders slash 101. Just click on this send button. I'm getting error checkout order. I will go to here. I'm getting this get mapping. Mapping is see this path v2 slash checkout slash orders. It's a correct. Here double quote it's a correct path variable int id it's correct. Everything is correct. Just we will see in Postman what again I will http colon double slash local host colon 8083 colon v2 slash checkout slash orders and id. Right, I will give. Click on this set. This postman. Online postman I will use. Localhost slash v2 slash checkout slash orders slash 101. Click on this set. This too it's not working. In body I have not given anything. Where I am getting this? Wait 1 second. Again I will create one duplicate. I will do duplicate. My rest get order copy. Where I am getting this error? So now we will be seeing one of the more method. I will be using one more of the post mapping. So basically in this method, public string, I will be capturing the order. Means I will be generating the order. So capture order. here basically we are having one ID, and based on that ID we have to capture the order. So I will be here I will be returning. Just now I don't have anything. Here I will be printing system.out.println path variable. Basically, I will be using this as a path variable, and I will be concatenating this one ID, and same thing I will be returning in this order ID. Now, in order to map this one, I will be using this as a post mapping. So, post mapping, and this ID I have to map in curly brace ID, and to capture that order, because this is a post mapping. So in post mapping basically we don't have to give ID because we don't have any ID, right? So in already we are having ID. On that ID we have to capture, so we have to give the proper, like, we have to capture the order ID. So we will be using, so map, to map this ID we have to give here variable path variable. So we will be seeing this is working or not. I will be running this one. Run as Spring Boot app. You can see application got started. Go to Postman. Postman ID is already there. Slash capture, because we have given here slash capture, and instead of get we will be using post. I will be hitting this button, send button. So you can see we are getting received capture path variable. So for delete also, you just have to, if you want to delete, you are already having ID, you just want to delete, you will be giving 101, and I that order item, what item if you want to delete, that item will be deleted. So by using this, you can do all the 4 CRUD operations.